Recording. Okay, go live. Okay, I think we are now. Good
We
morning.
are. Good morning, Wendy. Cheers. Good morning.
Oh, I got my water. Cheers. I didn't get a coffee yet. It's been one of those mornings.
Yes, it is. It is. Well, it's actually been good, except that I had a whippoorwill with his 5 alarm cry at 4 o'clock this morning. And it felt like it went for a solid minute, which felt like 10.
Mm.
You hear this shrill, and it was right outside our bathroom window. We have all the windows open.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh my gosh, I've never heard one so close. I'm surprised James didn't wake up. It was so piercing at 4 o'clock in the morning. I was like, if I could see the bird, I would shoot it. Like, it
Oh
was
no.
so loud. So I quick closed the window, closed the bathroom door, and then I think he probably flew off. But
Mm.
we have many whippoorwills here in the sort of, I'll say, the Long Lake Valley, because it all scoops down to Long Lake, and you can hear them calling to one another, like at 10 o'clock and then at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
So yeah,
interesting.
super lucky.
Well, I don't know. There's certain bird noises that crow is one of them that I kind of I've gotten into I kind of like it now, but at first it was just like, would you guys just shut up? Why do you need to talk so early in the morning? Like, really, this is not Tim Hortons.
Yeah.
Um, I grew up with a whippoorwill in my back 50, and it would actually soothe me to sleep at night. So I like that. But now, I mean, you can't hear it, but it's just, I've got like a plethora of birds singing because it's so dismal and gray and rainy out, and they just love that. So they're just in their heyday right now. So it's really cool to listen to. But
I don't know why. For some reason. Oh, sorry, just a sec here. It's true.
yeah, but I do one thing I haven't really had pleasure of having a lot of is the loon call. That's the one thing that I know down at the Long Lake end of things, or anybody that's by a lake that has some loons on their lake. That's got to be the best sound ever, as far as I'm concerned. I just
It's
love that.
it's amazing. I know. It's so beautiful. The we were listening to all the birds yesterday at the cottage, and I'm just going to share this. Sorry. So incredible
Mm-hmm.
that Linda had her hearing aids in, and she's like, have they been this noisy the whole time? I'm like, this year they are exceptional. Maybe
Wow.
we had the bird feed out early enough.
Oh, maybe.
And so we probably have anywhere from a dozen to 2 dozen purple
Oh,
martins, or
nice.
whatever they are, purple finches. And it has been amazing.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, I didn't get my feeder out till late this year just because of the weather was kind of icky. I went up to my brother-in-law's yesterday, and he actually still has a pile of snow in his yard. I mean, that's how close we are still, even with that 30-degree one weather over the
mhm.
last little while. There's still spots that have snow in it. It's unbelievable. But like I said, I didn't put my feeder out till last week, I think it was. And so the birds haven't really noticed that it's there yet. And I remember from the lady that I bought this house from in Chelmsford here that she would say, the hummingbirds come back every Mother's Day weekend, like without fail. But this year, Mother's Day weekend came and passed, and we still had a pile of snow. I was like, not this year. But I just actually saw a hummingbird the other day, so I was kind of happy about
We have anywhere from 1 to 3, not like
that.
our normal amount.
Yeah,
And I think because it was messed up with that snowstorm,
yeah.
it's just
It's part of nature. I know even in
part
the
of nature.
wintertime, I put on music that's of the nature sort. So it's like birds and
Mhm.
nature sounds and everything else through the winter because I miss it so much. So it's nice. I'm glad it's here again. So,
Yeah, exactly,
yay.
exactly. So it's wonderful.
Mhm.
So you were reading, like, talk about reading books and stuff like that. I know people are trying to pick out good things to read, and you and I spend a lot of time reading a lot of nutrition books because I just don't have the mindset to listen to anything else right now.
No,
I guess. But you, for the first time, picked up a um,
the medical medium.
medical medium book.
Yeah, and the first
Eh,
one I picked up, and I do a lot of Kindle reading now because although I love books, I'm one of these old-fashioned people. Just I love the smell of a book, a texture, and everything else. But I've been just for space, um, and for my husband's sanity, because I have 1,000 books. Been doing it on my Kindle, and it's been amazing. I started with what's it called, medical medium liver rescue, and I think it was only $3 for the Kindle, which was really amazing. If you get a chance, I've only gotten into the first couple of chapters, and wow, I don't know, you and I were kind of geeks when it comes to this kind of stuff. We just dive into it and we're just like, wow, this is so cool. And but other people would be like, oh, it's kind of dry. But this guy is a really, really good writer. His name is
Anthony Williams.
Williams. And it's not like pure science. It's just it's a really good read, and he throws in little stories, and it's very, very easy. So I've been able to read. I'm still working on let's see, the first chapter basically, but only because I had to travel out of town yesterday. That I would have been having my head in the book all
So
day.
I have the original book, The Medical Medium, on my audio, and
Mhm.
then I have the thyroid
Yeah, that's
on
I'm gonna
audio,
get them all
and then I
eventually.
have the Healing Foods on Kindle. And you have all these, and then you're like, should have spent the money and had the book, but then I wouldn't have listened to the book because the reading is tedious. So, but I should have both. I should have the audio and the book so I can just rifle through things and
Yeah, because I
it's
mean,
kind of a
I like being able to go back and highlight and do different things. I'm kind of a, I don't know. Some people would be like, "Oh my God, what do you do with your books?" But that's the way I
oh,
do books.
I'm the same way with my Bible. I'm
Yeah,
like highlight, I write notes, I underline, I go
yeah.
through, I'll leave sticky
Stickers here.
notes. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, big star here, and
Yeah, the
people
thyroid
would.
actually, I first started seeing stuff about this through our mentor, Rachel, and she had the thyroid healing book. And I thought of you right away because of all the thyroid issues and whatnot that you've been,
Mhm.
well, not necessarily thyroid issues, but
But the
you're on
iodine
iodine
deficiency,
for
yeah,
thyroid
yeah.
healing. And I haven't read that one, but I'm like, that's going to be, I think, my third, because I actually was listening to
Mhm.
Anthony yesterday, and he was pushing his newest book, which
To
is
cleanse.
Heal to Cleanse,
Yep.
Cleanse to
Just
Heal.
yep.
And I haven't opened it yet, but I think that's going to be where my head is going to be all day today, because I am such a big advocate for detoxification and cleansing and everything else. So I really want to see where
He
his
keeps
thoughts
it,
are with regards to it.
and I mean, so if you have a chance to go to his website, it is incredible. Let me go here for a second here.
His,
It's incredible. He has so many free resources, Wendy.
I did look
And
at it.
I
Yeah.
mean, and so when you're listening to him, um, he does not, I mean, yes, of course, he has all of these books, is because people have to be told 3 times. I think that's what it is.
Well, yeah.
I think people need to be told 3 times, and which is funny. I always think that's funny, but they need to be told 3 times, and that's okay.
Yeah.
His first book, and then he digs in deeper with the second, and then people want to learn all that they can learn about. People are just such information junkies, and it's so great. So let me do this for a second here. Da, 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 dum. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Anyway, so what did you pull out of the book yesterday?
Um, so the liver rescue, I mean, like I said, I'm only in the very first sections of the book, but it really does speak to how powerful and how essential cleaning our livers is, because simply because of the simple everyday things that people are almost taking as normal: brain fog, weight gain, seasonal affective disorder, irritability, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, anxiety, acne, bloating, these things, constipation. People think that, oh, that's just kind of normal because of the way I eat. These are really much signs of a dysfunctional liver, and really bringing that um, focus towards cleaning that up can make a big, big, incredible difference. I mean, because we have all these little symptoms, if you want to call them, they carry on and people continually think that they're just normal, that we have to put up with them, they eventually will get into the situation of diabetes, heart disease, cancer, all these different things that it's a progression. And people don't seem to realize that this everyday nuisance stuff that we have to put up with, that, we can put up with a little bit, we learn to put up with, unfortunately, is going to be the detriment of something that's going to progress into issues that we are going to be life altering for sure. And by taking the steps now to, you know, just some small steps. I mean, it's just, I haven't got into the major parts of the book yet, but I understand that whole philosophy of cleaning up and allowing the liver to just relax and not be so overburdened and not be so just, I don't know. It just, yeah. It,
I
it,
think you'll find when you're reading through the books, Wendy,
yeah.
that you'll be like, mm-hmm. Oh, I thought so. Or
Yeah.
that's really interesting. I thought that way too. And I mean, nothing is, as we know, nothing is a for sure. And
Mhm.
nothing is, science changes and hypotheses changes and reactions, because every single reaction, every single therapy, every single possibility changes with each person, with each scenario, and each situation.
Yeah.
So whether the celery juice, right, his whole premise starts with celery juice, and that has to do with the salts that are in that to balance out the body and push in, push out of the cell, kind of that whole process. And you're doing celery juice this morning?
Yeah, I gave it the first try this morning. I'm not a never have never ever been a big fan of celery. It's one of those things that get caught in your teeth, and I don't know. I didn't seem, I don't know. So I had some celery in the fridge, so I just thought, hell, I didn't juice it, but what I did was just grind it up blend it up in the blender, and then I
Yep.
put it through a fine cloth and drank it. And one of the recommendations is that you wean up to the 16 ounces a day.
16 ounces. You can't do that
So
all at once. You'll suffer
yeah,
great
and
consequences, I think.
yeah, you have to get used to the taste. For me, I have to get used to the taste. It's very salty. It's
Yes.
really amazing how salty celery is, and
Yep.
when you have large quantities of it in a juice situation, yeah, it's salty. So that's why I didn't even want to have a coffee after I drank, and I only drank, might have been maybe 6 ounces. I have no desire for coffee this
Yes,
morning.
so I challenged Wendy to a celery challenge, and so I still have to make mine. And I've already had a coffee. It's tough. I can't pull out the blender and whip things up when James is still
Yeah.
sleeping, so I will wait and then time that through. And I ended last night with a dandelion tea, which
Oh,
was
nice.
which was great. I rubbed some castor oil on my liver
I
as I
did that too.
slept. Yeah. So, and then. Oddly colored stool movement this morning. So I'm guessing I was working on bile and working on that cleansing kind of portion of things
Yeah.
that happen in the liver at night. If I just going to show people this. Oh, you've disabled my sharing screen, so that's okay. Next time I will. But
I
the
don't know
medical
how I would
medium,
be able to
no,
do that.
that's okay. The medical medium, you just go. There's free, and he's got lots and lots of things there for free. So it's kind of a cool resource. He talks about virus protection here. He talks about immune. Does talk a lot about celery juice. So if you've never actually and you didn't know, I mean, you have to take things with a grain of salt, and you have to be insightful for yourself, and you have to be able to discern yourself and reap what you need out of the information. And I find a lot of it very confirming about a lot of things. And as we know, people who have diseases like lupus or Lyme or who suffer from candida continually, or psoriasis or many other things, you've done everything possible. You've done everything,
Hmm.
right? And some people are like, excellent, that worked, amazing, beautiful, right? And they can manage through things, or they may be healed from it. But I'm always like listening to clients, like let's say in the States, a lot of more people listen to that. And so I'll listen to them, and then I'll say, perhaps this resource, or have you read the medical medium? Have you been insightful thinking about that? And that's where I'll tend to push people towards that, or like say Dr. V. It's a valuable resource.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that you're drawn to that, probably for a reason.
Yeah.
And there's probably a reason you don't like celery, because your
Yeah.
body needs it the most.
That's one of the, yeah, the intuitive little things that people, sometimes forget that, it's kind of the opposite situation. I don't know. And you really have to really just start beginning to understand. And because I was just listening to Anthony talk this morning, he does on his Facebook page, he does a lot of like hour-long kind of chats, like what we're doing. And one of the things he was pulling out of his latest book was the fact that, how did he put it? There's no right way of doing things for everybody. So you've got your paleo people, you got your keto people, you got your plant-based vegans, you got your plant-based vegetarians, you've got just plant-based people that throw in a little bit of meat, you've got your animal people, you've got this group, that group, that there's no one right way. And basically what we have is basically a war that's going on, and then within this war there's a jumble. It's just a fog, and people have no idea which way to go. So
Yeah.
this is where you really have to just, forget about the fog, look and begin to just understand what your body needs. And when we start to really give it the things that we need, and like you say, I have kind of an aversion to celery. Well, yeah, maybe that's because I do need it.
You
And we were
do.
talking about that with the essential oils the other
Yeah.
day, about the ones that, sometimes I
Disgust
just,
you the most.
yeah, these are the
Yeah.
ones that are probably like, oh, maybe you do need it the most. Or it could be the opposite. So you really have to weigh the options and see what really works best with you. Because for some person that it really does disgust them and make them nauseous, maybe they don't need it right now,
Well,
and that's the
exactly,
whole thing.
exactly. And that's just the way things go. Like, you don't
Yeah.
want to force things into your body that aren't prepared for things, especially when it
Hmm.
comes to detoxing or liver support, and stuff. So even in my reading about hormones, right? The
Yeah.
liver plays a huge role in, the toxic release of things. It's the everything goes through there.
Yeah.
And you need to support it. So quite often I'm always talking about gentle liver support. And it's not doing a liver cleanse. Let me say that again. It's not about doing a
No,
liver cleanse,
no, it's just
because
supporting it.
you need to talk to someone professionally. You need to get your liver blood work checked with your medical doctor.
Hmm.
If you need extra support, then that's, you want to double check things with a naturopath. But see your doctor about it. You should every year, especially at our age, or every 3 years, have a general blood work done, so that you can stay abreast of anything that can be fatty liver disease, psoriasis, congestiveness, and there's always a telltale problem sign if it seems to be dropping or too high. And you can tell if you're getting pains in the center of your back, or you're getting that right hand side pain deep within, or oddness. Pay attention,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because your body's giving you telltale signs already. But it is not about doing a liver cleanse. You don't know. Maybe you just haven't been feeding it or supporting it enough. And I talk about that always. Don't jump into a liver cleanse. Sharon, even in her, she may say liver cleanse in our thermography reports, but it is followed with, please discuss this with a health professional,
Hmm.
right? Because we can see the liver's not working well.
Hmm.
And I love how he talks about that it's about nutrition.
Yeah.
It's about support in that aspect. And I think people need to understand, oh, I need to do a liver cleanse. I don't know if you do. You haven't sat around and talk about it. Maybe you need to feed it liver, right? You
Ooh,
need to,
no, that's one thing he says. I didn't
well,
get to that point, but yeah.
well, yeah, but I mean, that's like that. Is it milk thistle? Is it other
Mm.
nutrients? Is it other things like that? So it's kind of neat.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, simply because more times than not, a lot of our issues that we're having, these symptoms, these disease processes, are from an overburdened and overworked liver, essentially,
Right.
because everything gets passed through our liver. Our liver, it is, it's designed to support us, and Oh, it processes the fat, and protects our pancreas. So if our liver actually is not working properly and overburdened and doing a big job, then our pancreas gets, because our pancreas, he describes the pancreas as being a very delicate flower kind of situation, whereas the liver is the workhorse. But this delicate flower, the pancreas, if it gets bombarded by a lot of issues, that's when it really goes, oh no, and it doesn't work properly. And then we look towards our big diabetes kind of situation. But it's really important to, I don't know, get the book, guys. Or like seriously. And if you have any kind of questions or whatever, reach out to people like myself and Dana that can really help you with a lot of explaining of what's going on. Because I mean, even something as simple as the fact that, I mean, I say it over and over and over again, that our bodies are this miraculous healing vessel that can, when given the right opportunity to thrive and work at its optimal best, it can do miracles.
Hmm.
And I say that over and over again. And this is one of the things he actually said in his book as well. And when we give the body the ability to rejuvenate and you know reestablish itself, it can do some amazing things, but we have to put the work in. And that's when it comes down to, waking up in the morning and having a little bit of celery juice, or, just giving it the right foods and moving a little bit and having some thoughts. And I know that's going to come into the book a little bit later, because from a very esoteric kind of situation, the body I'm just going to get the thing here. It says, we hold a lot of anger. Well, we live in a time right now where there's a lot of
Yep.
anger, rage, greed, violence, and this
Yep.
is very much associated with liver dysfunction at this point too. So this is kind of it really dives into a lot of different areas. And it's one of those, he kind of just is able to put to words that my mouth doesn't able to put to words, but I know all this stuff to be so true, right to the heart of
It's very
everything.
true. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I'm just
Mm.
as you're talking here, I'm going through make what do I have in my books, like, and then I'm
Yeah,
just putting the liver rescue into my, because I have some credits in the Audible, so I'm just going to
yeah,
put those
yeah.
through. So today I'm doing the liver rescue, but
Hmm.
that's by audio.
Yeah, oh yeah,
So I
well,
wonder, yeah. Well, I mean, when I was listening to him last night, it was funny because he's just like, I'm trying to get these books into every single library across
mm,
America.
yeah,
Go pick it up. Go pick it up at the library. I was like, he's so true. Like,
yeah.
he just wants people to be better.
Yeah, and that's the whole first section of what he was talking about is like, I'm not trying to sell you extra memberships. I'm not about tribes. I'm not about selling you this, selling you that. It's in the book. Just pick up the book, go to the library. It's free if you want. Just and it starts off. I read a part about when he was a kid working in the grocery store. Part of his job was to actually just juice celery juice, and he would give it away. Not give it away. He would give it for the price of a stalk of celery to people in the grocery store, and this is how he kind of started with this whole celery juice situation, and the results that people were getting were just amazing. And he just kind of continued like that as well. And
I'm going
yeah,
to step away for a second because the dog would like to go outside, as she's telling me. Okay, just a sec.
okay.
You continue talking, Emily. I'll be
Yes,
right back.
yes.
You can
So,
put up the cover on your Kindle and show. Just a sec.
oh yeah, well, I can share my screen. I don't know why you can't. Let's see here. So, this is the fabulous guy that we are talking about today, Mr. Anthony here. And if you go to his page, medicalmedium.com/medical-medium.101, this is where you'll get all that wonderful free stuff that he has offered. And I haven't had a chance yet to download this stuff, but I'm very interested in the virus protection and it just says, and you can see that you can download it here. And these are all of the books that he has. Cleanse to Heal. This is the one that I have to finish one book before I start another. I'm really bad at that. But this is the Liver Rescue is the one I have now. The Cleanse to Heal is just the one I bought the other day. And yeah, you can see all of the books that he has here that are just amazing. And then, of course, he's got all these recipes, the lemon water and the celery juice. I mean, it is basically, let's see here. It is just nothing but celery. So he says one bunch of celery juice, which makes about 16 ounces, I guess, depending upon the size of the celery. You just rinse it and run it through a juicer, or if you don't have a juicer, I just put mine in my little Bullet Ninja thing this morning, and then put it through. I'm going to actually buy one of those nut milk bags and use that, or even just cheesecloth would be good.
Just
Yeah,
use cheesecloth.
and you can drink it right away. And it's not something that he says it's not good to keep. It in a pinch you can freeze
Well,
it and whatnot, but it's
with
best.
any of the fresh
Yeah,
juices, you're really not supposed to be keeping them.
no, not
Like,
unless you're have one of these great big cold pressed juicers or whatever. Then you
and
can.
then it will last longer, I guess. Like, what's the premise? I
Yeah,
guess.
it lasts a little bit longer, up to 3 days, and even like places like Juicy Gens, when they sell or offer their cleanses, which is a 6-day cleanse, they give you their juices in three-day increments, so you get like 2 orders of it. But it is yeah, so it goes on. But he has a lot of other different wonderful healing broths and everything else. And as I get into the books a little bit more, this is what oh, look at this, all this wonderful more recipes.
I know, it's incredible.
Yeah,
I think it's just incredible. And that's just I think that's honestly his sincere heart.
it
Does that
is.
make sense?
It comes
Yeah.
across like that anyways. I mean, like I said, this is my
Right.
first introduction to him, so but that's what I feel like. He seems like he is very genuine, and he is not just trying to sell you a book. Yes, he's trying to sell you a book, but at the same
Of
time,
course.
it's not just, and it's all original stuff. It's not something that he's picked from this person and this person and this person and put all together as a book. This is his own stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think is fantastic, right?
Mm-hmm. So I know, I think maybe we may have confused people a little bit with what basically we're doing here with, coming on here on a daily basis and trying to chat it up and keep it light and, deliver a little bit of information to you guys as well. But I know from my perspective, and I was just wanted to ask you this, why is it that we're here? Like what it is that we're doing? From my seat here, um, I am the type of person that, and I got into nutrition as a person that wanted to educate other people about this kind of stuff, and offer people an alternative to what is the norm out there, and for people to see. And I know with the internet we see a lot more of it now and all the time, but just giving people that option. So coming on and talking on a daily basis, not necessarily trying to sell you guys stuff, not necessarily trying to um, uh, be specific about one thing in particular, because holistic nutrition and functional nutrition is all about everything that involves you as a person. It involves your life, it involves the people around you, it involves your thoughts and feelings. And this is why the whole premise of this chit chat was to look at all different areas of things while offering some opportunity for a little bit of learning, not a lot, nothing too heavy, but things to make you think, to
Exactly.
question a little bit. So maybe from your perspective, you want to say something?
So the reason that I had wanted to start it was to keep me accountable and keep me making a presence online. In this day and age, you cannot build a practice normally, a coaching practice, without having a presence online. That's just the way it is right now. You can, but it's really hard. But I have my brain just goes and I study things and I learn about things and I am excited to share those things. And
Mm-hmm.
this is what we're doing. We're sharing what we find interesting, what we may use in practice, or what we may use or talk about if the opportunity comes up. If I'm interested about a product, or if I'm interested about a theory, or if I'm interested about something, or I want to question it, then I think this should be the opportunity to do so because someone else does.
Mm-hmm.
If you've thought it, 10 other people already have,
Yeah.
right? And that's why. And then, yes, I have free programs. Use them up. Ask
Yeah.
questions. Wendy has free programs.
Mm-hmm.
Use them. And of course, we eventually want you to work with us. If you need help, ask us.
Yeah.
You can do a free 15-minute discovery call, like a call to say, hey, Dana, what's going on? How can you help me? And then that gives us the opportunity to say, this is what I do. This is how
Yeah.
passionate I am. And this is what I want to do for you. And this is what it's about.
Yeah.
Yes, of course, eventually we would love to be working with you. That's life. That's what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Or we'd be still drinking margaritas from last night. No, we wouldn't. We'd be having Baileys in our coffee this morning. No, but I mean, life is fun. Life is short. Like this whole scenario, this whole COVID thing just flew right by, to be honest. It was the most painful 3 months and we don't know what's going to be happening. And so we're just trying to bring education to our community. We're trying to bring lightheartedness to the community, and we're trying to make ourselves accountable to you, our listeners, or you who's watching this, or I'm making myself accountable to Wendy, my accountability partner. So
Mm-hmm.
it's those, but it's like when I'm doing my podcasts or when I'm doing my talks online, but I have another one coming out today, it's because I'm interested about it and I want to learn about it and I want to help other entrepreneurs talk about their products.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's the same as you. Like you love Juice Plus, you love Garden Tower. So I'm like, Wendy, okay, let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's support it and let's talk about it. And that's why we talk about it, because there's value, it's important, and it will make you better.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's why not talk about these things?
Yeah. And I think it just shows how, like, I don't know, I don't ever strive to be something. I am just me. This is what you get. I mean, some days my hair is crazy. Other days, I'm just like, oh, do I really have to get dressed just for this? And I'm thinking I want to come on in my pajamas. Some days I'm drinking coffee. Sometimes I'm drinking water. This is real life. This is how it works. And I think you and I, it's not something we strive for, authenticity, but this is just us. We're just real. We're real people with the same issues that
Yeah.
everybody else is having. I don't sleep. I was telling Dana before we came on that I was up till 1:00, 1:30 in the morning. I had a few hot flashes. I was, bouncing back and forth. I had 1,000 different thoughts. And she's like, well, did you try the melatonin? Did you try this? Did you try that? And I'm like, yes, I tried this. I tried that. Like, what else can I do? And these are the things that Dana and I both, we struggle with. We struggle with just like everybody else. But we have a knowledge base and we have, these other, this desire to share with people.
Yeah.
And, at the same time, we're like, oh, there's got to be something that works,
Well, and that's
and
it.
it'll kind
And
of come to us like that too, where we're just like,
yeah.
okay, well, let's try this next. Let's try this next. Let's see what works best for you. Because
Yeah.
you, as the hormone expert, I'm like, okay, well, what next? What next? What next?
It really comes down to understanding where the root of your inflammation is coming
Yes.
from.
And that's
Right?
why I'm trying the celery juice now. This is my next
Correct.
step of, trying to really decrease. I have a lot of inflammation and I haven't been the best person to eat very well
Well,
recently.
no one has this during this time, so you
Yeah.
can't. Don't give yourself a hard time about it. And that's what I wanted to try and say yesterday to you. It's okay. Everybody's in the same boat.
Yeah.
Everyone's just been chilling and relaxing. I even
Mhm.
went. You saw my breakdown. You were there, and so that was my pivot point.
Yeah.
But it's like you need to identify and get serious about
Mhm.
reducing that inflammation. And we saw it during your thermography,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
we have to step back, and everybody, you need to just, you need to write things down. This is what I've done. Did it work? This is what I've done. Did it work? This is what I've done, right? And you're still, and when you're reading your liver book, you're still going to say the dang same thing. I'm like, oh, I
Mhm.
didn't think that would work, or I thought so, or, but it's like you need to not follow. I don't know. It's so hard.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
single person changes. You change. You're different from me,
Yeah.
right?
There are
We're going
basics on,
through
like on the foundational level with regards to eating, all these different things,
even
exercise,
nutrition, even
mindset.
supplementation, even all
But
that changes.
yeah.
And it's so, and it's hard,
Mhm.
right? And we have so many, and I think my heart goes out the most. I think after Deanna passed, I think that's what got me the most is that there has to be telltale signs. There has to be an easy way to take the process of healing the body to step work, one thing at a time, one thing at a time, one thing at a
Baby
time,
steps. Yeah.
baby steps, because we know that no one's no one's curing cancer. We know that people will there's going to be, people are walking in the woods more, people are, like, and there's going to be more ticks, there's going to be more disease,
Mhm.
there's going to be all sorts of things. And then with this whole staying at home and eating sourdough bread, the reactions to lupus or the reactions to gluten are going to be increasing. Like there's ramifications for all this kind of stuff, right?
Well,
So,
that's it.
and then this inner anger of like,
Yeah.
I want to go back to work and live my life, right? And
Mhm.
then the fear. So you have anger in the liver, you have fear in other parts of the body, and I think that's kidney, and
Yeah.
then you're grieving loss of the world, and that's lung. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like there's so many different levels of things that are happening in the last 3 months
Mm.
that
It's
it's
amplified.
well, it may, or maybe everyone will be like, I got to deal with my shit. I can't avoid it. I can't go anywhere. I can't go to the gym. I can't work out. I can't drink any more than I can. Well, like, because it's like enough. But it's going to be an interesting time moving forward. So it's great. But I just want to say, if anyone wants to talk, I just book yourself a discovery call. There's no cost. I just want to talk. I want to share. I want to be able to give you some clues, and I find that I'm kind of a concierge clue giver. But I mean, let's talk about it. Let's talk about things that are important and that will change your life and that will help you moving forward. And I know that you are just as passionate.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, I have that same kind of offer on the table, whereas,
Mhm.
and I think that's another reason why we do this kind of situation is for you guys to get to know me. I
Yeah,
could sit there all day long and put out posts and do, write this and write that and everything else, but you don't know me. You don't know me from a hole in the ground. You don't know me from like the
yeah,
other 100 nutritionists that are out there. And that's why coming on here, you can see me, you can see my face, you can see my words or hear my words, and decide for yourself. Do you like me? If you don't like me, that's fine too. It's no skin off my nose because, uh, you know, I'm not going to appeal to everybody. Just
right,
as
right.
I don't like everybody out there. There's some people that you just are drawn to, but this is whether you are or not. That's besides the point. But the thing is, this is just giving you an opportunity to get to meet us a little bit, to see where we're at, to see the type of people we are, our own life
Yeah.
struggles, our own things that we
And
do and everything else. So
and also, this is just this silly servant in me, but this person who wants to give and serve to people. If
we
if
are.
you are struggling with your health and I'm not the person for you, or Wendy may not be the person for you, call us anyways, because there is someone out there, even in Sudbury.
Oh yeah.
There are nutritionists out there that have a focus, that have a plan, that have a mission. Let us get you there.
Yeah.
Like, we are all one,
Mhm.
working for the same cause, working for the same reason. We all have the same purpose and mission in our lives. And if we don't cut the bill for you, let us get you to the person. If you need to be deeper and more disease driven, and perhaps it's out of our scope, then let's talk about the different naturopaths that are here, and let's get you to them. Like, we're not here for making millions, although that'd be great. Let's not kid ourselves. Millions, no.
Millions.
Millions of dollars.
But the thing is, you know what? If we made millions, we would be offering even more free stuff. I'm guaranteed that would be like, come in, have a thermography, do your
Yeah.
blood,
Yeah.
have some
Oh my
lunch.
gosh. I can't wait to start doing thermography again.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I was just actually thinking. I think I might actually pull out my stethoscope, my microscope today and do my live blood online.
Wow, how novel.
Yeah, how novel. Yeah, that's my thing. I have to take the dust off of it. Yeah, it's been packed away for a while. Yeah, because I mean, even you just mentioning my own thermography, I want to see where I'm at with my live blood. And now that I've, thinking about doing this celery thing, it'd be kind of interesting to get the before and after of
Well,
my
yeah, you should
blood.
do that before you do more celery juice, because
Yeah.
it will definitely make a huge impact, right, with those
Yep.
salts that are
And it'd be
in there.
really,
You'll see
really
them.
interesting to see how that works.
Well,
I
I
know there's
think
a lot
that's
of people that
perfect.
are just like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know. Like more than half my clients will come in. I did this, I did this, I did this, and nobody can give me any answers. So this is why I'm seeing
Yep.
you. Well, okay, so you look at your live blood, and and it does basically come down to a lot of things of just supporting your liver,
Mm-hmm,
eating the right foods,
mm-hmm,
getting some
mm-hmm.
breathing time in. Unfortunately, people and they look at me and go, I know that. I'm like, well, this is what it does come down to it. And people just have to do those steps and put them through. And just like myself, I have to do that myself too. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, this is really great, Dana. I don't want to keep it too long. We always end up, chat, 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 chat.
Well, that's okay. Well, I don't
Yeah,
care. If no one watches it, then that's fine. But we're having fun.
definitely.
Really, that's all that matters.
It's not about you guys at all. It's just because I want to see
It's
my
really not. No, it is. It is. It is. It
It
keeps us
is.
accountable. It keeps us focused and keeps us driving. So, yeah, I
Wonderful.
have I'm going to launch it, and we're talking again today at 2 for our living,
Yeah,
with
inspired
living
healthy living. Yeah.
right, inspired healthy living, and so that'll be at 2 o'clock today. So we'll send out a pre-notice, and then again, that's our whole food movement. And then I'll be sending out today a podcast I did with Jody Keefe, and she is Life Vantage, and that's about a beautiful biohacking.
Oh, yes, biohacking. That's something that's kind of new in my vocabulary, so I'm just kind of learning a little bit more about it. I put out
Yeah,
a newsletter about it the other
I
week.
saw that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so it's kind of, yeah, it's interesting.
Well,
But
it goes back to that DNA work. It goes back to understanding the process of glutathione, which is again the liver.
yes,
It's the
yeah,
liver.
it all comes
But
back to the liver,
all
baby.
comes back to the liver. But it's interesting, right? Because we understand our SNPs now. Our SNPs are the different portions of our DNA that can be deviant, or that can be perfect. Never mind understanding telomere health, right? Like, but that's for another day,
Well,
folks.
yeah, because you're talking over
Stay
my head
tuned.
now.
Stay tuned. I love it. I think it's incredible, right? And that's the biohacking.
Yeah,
That's the biohacking, understanding how nutrition. And okay, so we'll
changes
talk
your
about it today. We'll talk about biohacking and whole foods today at 2.
too.
Stay tuned.
Okay, just before we go though, these for people, I know we can be here all day. Just one more thing. Um, our podcast. So you're putting these our past episodes up on the podcast as well. So as well as your amazing podcast, we actually have the Dana and Wendy 3C Club as a podcast as well. So if you're looking for that, I'm sure you can find it and see all the past episodes with regards to that too. So that's it. I'm done.
Beautiful. Have a great day.
Okay, take care.